What is up, y'all? It's your girl, brand new, and honey, I am back in the building. This time, honey, I'm back for a birthday reading of Mr. Carlos King. He is the producer, honey, of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, the executive producer. We also know Carlos from producing Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey, in the glory days, honey, okay? Like, he produced the best seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think it was 6, 7, and 8. And those are my favorite seasons of that show. Well, I didn't really care for 7 because of Claudia, and I just didn't like Claudia, you guys, on the show like that, honey. But yeah, you know, those were some good seasons, though. We got to give it to Mr. Carlos King. So without further ado, honey, let's get off into it. So, honey, Carlos King was born October 2nd, 1979. It's Carlos Reginald King, honey, okay? Oh, yes, and he also is the executive producer, honey, of Bell Collective. They got, Love and Marriage DC. Now we got Love and Marriage Detroit. He also produced Hollywood Divas. That was a good one. And The Next 15. Okay, and selling it in the ATL, honey. Okay, Carlos is about his coins, honey. He's very talented. Okay, so Carlos King is a Libra, and that makes him a creative and enthusiastic type of person, a very lively person. A Libra man is open-minded. He has a contagious zest for life that allows him to interact with and inspire all sorts of people in extraordinary ways. Among the most sociable of all the zodiac men, he probably has an extensive network of friends and a hectic social life. I have a brother, you guys, that is a Libra. And what I will say about my brother more than any of my other brothers, number one, honey, he's like my favorite brother. Okay, I'll say that. But he was always fair by me. It never seemed like he got swayed to go in another direction, to go against me, to judge me, to criticize me, to malign me. My brother was always even tempered. Even my mother said coming up, it's hard to make him mad. And I'm like, well, how you know that shit? Have you tried to make him mad? Okay. Like, I look at that now, but I think what she was trying to say is he's very, patient and, grounded, and not a lot of things, rile him up, to get him to have like this explosive temper. But when my brother is upset, honey, he will let you know. Okay. I will say that about these Libras, honey. Okay. When the Libra get upset, watch out. Okay. And duck. But yeah, I will say that about my brother, and I have 5 brothers. So with him being like that, you guys, he stands out, not from he got all these college degrees, and all of that is nice. But my brother's character and the love he has, always showed me, it just really meant a lot to me, because we really do have a family where people try to turn people against you, and he's never swayed. And the last time I talked to my brother, he said he loved me. So I love him too. A lot of respect for him. Libra people in general are very social. So yeah, Carlos is very social. He has a lot of contacts, honey. Okay, also with him being a Libra, some of his negative traits he could be indecisive, he could be impatient, codependent, flighty, gullible, fragile, fearful, indolent, insensitive, gossipy, manipulative, and self-indulgent, honey. Okay, that's some of the negative traits. Let's get back to the book though. It says that Carlos King is charming, which means he's pleasant and attractive. And it's funny because his next strength is attractive. And I didn't even look down, you guys. And I just said that he's pleasant and attractive. And I didn't even see the word attractive as being one of his strengths, which means he is pleasing or appealing to the senses. Okay, that means he takes pride in how he dresses, having his hair cut, having his suits tailor made, honey. You know, he likes to get in the gym, honey, and get it in and maintain his physical frame. Let's get into Carlos's weaknesses. The first weakness says he's cutting. And basically that means he can be sharp, he can be piercing, he can be like cold in demeanor. So it also says he's repressed. That's another one of his weaknesses. And basically it refers to the tendency to avoid uncomfortable feelings. That means he unconsciously pushes painful feelings, thoughts, or memories out of his consciousness. And that kind of helps him to forget those things. Okay, so I think a lot of people may do that. But it's, you know, in a sense, it's not healthy. You know, we have to deal with, you know, how we feel. That way we can heal how we feel, right? It also says he is fearful. That's another one of his weaknesses. And it means basically feeling afraid, showing fear, anxiety. That's interesting. I would have never thought that would be one of his weaknesses, but you know, he's human, right? I kind of look at Carlos King as somebody that is bold and, you know, somebody that's willing to bet on themselves. So I can really appreciate that about him. Let's get more into his birthday, you guys. Okay, so his birthday is October 2nd, which means it's the day of verbal acuity. And that's interesting because when I think of Carlos King, I really think of his YouTube channel. Like, of course, we love all the shows he has produced, right? They're very entertaining and dramatic. But I was so impressed with him as a speaker on his YouTube channel. Like, he's really into, you know, the Housewives franchise, and he should be, you guys. He produced those shows. So that's why he's so passionate about it. And that's why he's so good at what he does. It says those born on October 2nd don't mince words. They are usually very candid about their opinions and rarely leave much to doubt when it comes to expressing where they stand on any given subject. That takes me to the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. I would say that second reunion that he hosted, not the one Egypt did. When I tell you, he hosted the hell out of that reunion. He asked all the questions that needed to be asked. He got clarity from the cast, even the liars on the cast, honey. He got clarity from them. He was straight to the point. He was entertaining. He was involved. Okay, even on the second reunion that he hosted, he hosted the hell out of that one. And Carlos gets really into his work. And that's very motivating and inspiring for, me to see that, somebody takes, their work this serious. It's wow, I want to have that same passion as well. So it's really nice, seeing him in action. It says one is generally more impressed by their reserve, however, by their skill in framing concise, pointed, and witty remarks. Those born on this day do not have to get angry or even emotionally upset to let you know how they feel. Okay? And that's why he has so much success on his YouTube channel, because he says all the right things at the right times about all these shows. He says what we all are thinking. And like I told y'all before, I never seen a producer just so involved with his craft, just so creative. And, he really is good with interviewing people and, being a listening ear. So it also says October 2nd, people run the risk of being too sharp or pointed in their remarks. Consequently, they can arouse antagonism among those who do not know them well and take their words too literally or personally. And that will be Miss Candy Burris. I'm going to throw shade if I can't get paid. Oh, okay. She is out here accusing Mr. Carlos King, honey, of trying to steal, the Escape life story, honey. Okay. And Candy says, honey, I am not impressed with you. Okay. You trying to get my mother on the line and, get information out of her, honey, allegedly. Okay. It also says October 2nd, people are not fully aware of how devastating their comments can be to sensitive and thin-skinned people like Candy, okay? Sometimes they can be accused of being quite ruthless in both word and deed, okay? And it really does say that. So, honey, Carlos, honey, I hope you didn't steal that lady life story, okay? I'm just playing. Y'all know I'm team Carlos, because I feel like when it comes to that, Candy is being manipulative and talking about it with the public instead of calling Carlos up and having a conversation with him. And I think it's very fake of her and Todd to hug Carlos, speak to him out, at some event, right? And then feel this way. And, and I don't want to hear this bullshiggity about, well, maybe Candy was just being polite. No, that's being fake. That's being phony. Like, speak on what you heard, okay? Like, call this man up and have a direct conversation. But I told y'all, Candy is very manipulative. That's why she be crying at the drop of a hat. Okay, because she wants y'all to feel sorry for her. Y'all remember what she did with Portia? Look at what she did to Phaedra. Made it to where Phaedra... that was the nail in Real Housewives of Atlanta's coffin too. Okay, her not forgiving Phaedra. And then you ended up forgiving Portia, who should have been fired too, right? But Portia act like she didn't know about, the whole thing of what Phaedra was saying. She didn't know that, it wasn't true. But I'm like, whatever, Portia. So yeah, back to Carlos, right? It also says there is an undeniable social and political thrust to October 2nd people and their thinking and behavior. Most October 2nd people are interested in the workings of society and are very adept at both understanding and manipulating people's viewpoints. Okay? They can usually turn a difficult situation to their own advantage or sway those who would obstruct them. October 2nd people have a certain grace, underlined by charm or raw power, which impresses others. They should not be mistaken for softies, for they are very tough inside, particularly when it comes to matters of survival. That takes me to people saying, he got fired from Real Housewives of Atlanta. It don't matter if he got fired by Bravo. Like, he claims he quit. I believe Carlos. I'm just looking at all the magic that has happened in Carlos's career. Honey, this man has given us, I forgot he had produced Hollywood Divas. In the first 15, those shows was good. He done gave us Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC. Now we got Detroit, Bell Collective, which is an awesome show. Like, this man can produce. Okay? Like, and I mean that literally and figuratively. Okay? It also says their attacking capability is equally matched by a resilient defense, and therefore they do not make good enemies for anyone to have. You hear that, Candy and Todd? Those born on this day can sometimes have problems with their aggression. At one time, overly shy. At another time, overly assertive. In their younger years, October 2nd people may also have a thing about violence, either being disturbed by it or prone to indulge in it. Ooh, child. In other words, honey, Carlos got them hands, honey, okay? In this, they must learn to be less obsessed and cultivate an inner calm and equilibrium. It is of great importance that those born on this day express disapproval, negativity, aggression, and ambition in a way that does not put others off or leave doubts about ulterior motives. So basically, it's saying that, Carlos is really ambitious, right? And he can make a lot of stuff happen, but he needs to watch how he does stuff. And I keep referring, for some reason, I just keep seeing this situation with Candy where I don't think he's guilty of what like she's saying, but there's something I'm getting the feeling that maybe he didn't do in the situation. Maybe he should have been more upfront with her, giving her a phone call. Hey, I plan on producing this, documentary about your group, like, and not even just with the Candy situation. Like, I'm just getting the feeling like he needs to be like more upfront with people in general, letting them know, hey, this is the plan, this is what we're gonna do. Pretty much like making sure you are getting other people's approval first before you act on whatever project you are working on. Because for some reason I'm getting the feeling like Carlos gets excited about his projects and feels like, hey, I'm the HNIC, okay? I'm the head nigga in charge, okay? I can just do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. And you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of his ego talking. And we all have an ego. So I'm not at all like attacking him. But that's kind of what I'm getting from the book. Like, he needs to maintain some type of balance. And he's a Libra. And that's what Libras represent. Balance, the scales, right? Weighing, how this is going to look or appear to other people first, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting with that. Often October 2nd people can be found with a hint of a smile on their lips and a twinkle in their eye. They like nothing more than entertaining or being entertained. So this is in his blood, you guys. Okay, this is his blood, sweat, and tears. Producing, talking about, these shows. I've heard so many criticisms about people saying, well, why does he, talk about the housewives so much? Because he's passionate about it and he likes it and he understands reality TV. He produces it, right? Who else is going to talk about it on the level that Carlos King is going to talk about it, and talk about it, honey, in layman's terms, honey. That way all of us of the viewing audience, honey, can understand the words that's coming out of his mouth, okay? His feelings, thoughts, and perceptions about things. So he's a genius. He really is. And I truly admire him. I also love his love of Married to Medicine, like how he always says that it's such a good show, and it is. It's underrated, but it's a damn good show, right? It also says the humorous thrust of their often dry, sardonic wit is evident. It may well be that others are the butt of their jokes rather than themselves. So, Carlos is known to kiki, honey, about the girls, okay? Indeed, those born on this day are rather thin-skinned when laughter is directed at them. And in this respect, have a double standard toward humor. So he can give it out, you guys, and dish it, but he can't take it, okay? It says the extreme sensitivity of an October 2nd person is often masked or armored by either a forbidding or light, playful exterior. Both of these disguises may well hide their true nature, as they are very adept at using wit, distancing, or aggressiveness to direct attention away from their inner self. Okay? So it looked like he liked to engage in a lot of joking and, stuff that's outside of himself. Remember what the book said, so that he can, not deal with the things that maybe are really bothering him. Remember, the book said he has, he's repressed, right? That's one of his weaknesses. It says only those very close to them may ever see their emotional vulnerability. Okay, so let's look at his numbers and planets. Those born on the 2nd of the month are ruled by the number 2 and by the moon. Since number 2 people often make good co-workers and partners rather than leaders, those born on October 2nd may fit more easily into jobs and relationships. However, the influence of the number 2 may also act as a brake on individual initiative and action, producing frustration for October 2nd people who must do things their own way. That takes me to a lot of people asking him to come back and produce Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Carlos King was like, hell no, to the no. I love doing things my way. I love being my own boss. Why would I, go back to being a worker, honey, when I could be a boss, okay? So it says this is further complicated by the moon having strongly reflective and passive tendencies. On the good side, the Venusian qualities of Libra here lend grace and charm, which can soften the bite of an October 2nd personality. Okay, so let's get into his tarot. The second card of the major arcana is the Priestess, shown seated on her throne, calm, and child, Miss Robinson was struggling, honey, with that word. It's impenetrable. Basically, it means impassable, impervious, mysterious, obscure, hidden. It also says she is a spiritual woman who reveals hidden forces and secrets, empowering those of us who heed her with that knowledge. Favorable qualities of this card are quietude, intuition, reserve, and discretion. Negative values include secretiveness, mistrust, indifference, and inertia. Okay, let's look at the advice the book has for him. It says, don't hide behind your public persona. Allow others to see you as you really are. Work to lessen fear and cultivate self-confidence. Find the right balance in expressing negativity. Okay? Your bark may indeed be a bite. Ooh, so there it is, you guys. Like I said, he needs to learn how to say certain things to people. Don't be so I believe it was saying he could be sharp. He could be cutting, with his words. And like I said, overall, I feel like what I'm getting from him is he needs to watch how he does things, because people are watching. And you always want to watch how you come off, watch your intentions for doing things. Because having a lot of ambition is one thing, right? But if you have it in a way where it's destroying the lives of others, then that's when it, becomes a problem, right? So, that's the vibe that I'm getting. So he has to watch that. But he's a Libra, right? And he seems pretty spiritual. I know some of y'all rolling y'all eyes and sucking y'all teeth this fool ain't spiritual. He is. I can tell when I'm listening to someone speaking, I can tell if they're spiritual or not. I really can. I can tell a lot behind people's words, how they phrase things. So one good quality I will say I like with him is, and I said this on his podcast in the comments, is I love how he uplifts all of his guests and he tells them why they are so amazing. I feel like that is so endearing. I feel like all human beings need that. We need a hype man like Carlos King that reminds us of what we bring to this life. And I feel like he has a way of making all of his guests feel comfortable with him to share on his podcast. And when you make people feel at home, they, by design, will come back, right? And that is the name of the game in life, making people feel good, making people feel comfortable. And the more you're able to do that with people, the more money you will have. They say your network is your net worth. And I feel like if that saying was a person, it would be Carlos King. He will continue to thrive and be great and be rich from a monetary aspect and just from a spiritual aspect, a earthly, aspect. He's going to continue to have a good life because he knows how to make people feel good. And that's important in this life. For his meditation, it says silence can be more powerful than speech, not as a weapon, but as a means of quieting the mind and reaching the self. Oh, I love that. And we are going to end on that note. Okay, you guys? So don't forget, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, brand new, and I will check you guys out in the next video.